If you are afraid of making eye contact, you will lose business. Active listening is hard to do because, especially in sales, we just want to jump straight to the point and say, let me tell you about what I know. You are the product. How you hold yourself, how you present yourself, that is what you're selling. Attention is everything. And so in today's episode of the Mortgage Business Mastery Show, I want to talk about some tips on how to be the person that everybody notices in your area. So this is going very much deep into my acting and performing arts days as to how to present yourself and hold yourself so you can catch attention, because this is the key. You can have all of the best knowledge in the world. You could be the best mortgage broker out there. But if people don't notice you, they don't look at you, they don't actually see you, then it all falls flat. And then when they see you, you want to make sure that you're presenting yourself in the right way in order to convert them to become clients. And so I'm going to go through some tips and tricks that are going to help people notice you more and want to work with you because they see you as somebody who has their stuff together. Let's dive into it. So number one we have is posture. So the way that you hold yourself with good posture is important. So you don't want to, whenever you're either doing Zoom calls or face-to-face appointments or meeting people in any way, networking, do not slouch, okay? Do not slouch over. Do not have a small posture. When you look small and feel small, and I'm not, by the way, I'm not a tall guy, I'm 5'9", but posture is important. Holding yourself big makes people still think that you are larger. In fact, one of the feedback I get all the time when I meet people in person is they always say, I thought you were going to be much taller than you were. And that's because of a posture thing. It's the way that you hold yourself. So posture is a really important one. Now, a way to do this, if you're not good at this, and to drill this, is to stand in front of a mirror and just hold yourself up. Pull your shoulders back, see what you look like, and hold that posture for 2, 3, 5 seconds, and then relax back to what you are. Do that every single day. This is actually a posture exercise that people do. We used to do it in performing arts days, of being able to hold yourself. This is what I look like, and then drop. And then over time, what will happen is that posture will start to become normal. Try and practice it in calls, try and practice it in meetings, try and practice it in your video content. The more you do it, the more it becomes second nature. Which brings me on to the second one, which is eye contact. Eye contact is vital for trust. If your eyes are darting all over the place, and sometimes, by the way, there is a nature, like a need for the eyes to move around, but they should always come back to the client's face. They should actually look at them and look them in the eyes. If you are afraid of making eye contact, you will lose business. Like 100% you're going to lose business. You're going to lose business to your competitors, and you will not convert people with insurance and fees and things that you just won't. I remember with eye contact, what was really interesting for me when I first discovered eye contact being a really, really powerful tool was actually when I was at school. So this is crazy, but it goes that far back. When I was at school, I would always get in trouble. Unruly, ADHD, bouncing all over the place. But what I realized was whenever I got pulled up for something, if I looked the teacher in the eye and said, I'm really sorry I did that, and I didn't look sad and again posture, so I held myself, I'm really sorry I did that, I shouldn't have done that, and I looked them in the eyes, they would always let me off with a warning. They'd be like, okay, don't worry, Ashley. Ashley is what they call me. Don't worry, Ashley, it's absolutely fine. Don't do it again. The power of eye contact was mind-blowing to me from that point onwards. The next one we've got is smiling. Smiling is important. It shows that you're happy. It shows that you're trustworthy. It shows that you're just a nice person. So again, with smiling, it can be quite strange at first to do, but just try and smile and be more upbeat. Now, the way to do this, personally with me, I just think happy thoughts. Like, it sounds a bit silly, but when I'm with a client, I'm always upbeat and happy. Try not to let, and what I find with the smiling is trying not to let negative, whatever's going on in my life, whether that's good or bad or whatever stresses is, health and family and kids and all this stuff, when the client's on the call, it's yes, let's go. What's going on? Never should the client ever see you in a bad way, in a sad way. It's not their problem. It's not their situation. Even tired. I'm trying to do a rule at the moment, which is you do not say that you're tired. Hard, but especially with 2 kids, but it's still definitely one of those things. So smiling and feeling upbeat, massively going to get you noticed. Bring me on to number 4, which is voice modulation. So voice modulation is using your voice to be able to use tonality and inflection and other skills to your advantage. So what would I mean by tonality? Voice. So first of all, you can change the tone of your voice. You can make it softer, you can make it louder, you can make it more powerful. So you go really big like this. All of these things and the way that you modulate it and move it, that is allowing it to be way more interesting. And if you ever listen to the book or read the book, The Way of the Wolf by Jordan Belfort, he actually talks about this all the time, where he says whispering is, can I just tell you something? It allows people to suck them in. It feels like you're telling them a secret. And then he talks about how you can use pace and tonality to gain trust. It's really useful. Focusing on that tonality, that inflection, which is where the voice goes up, or the articulation and punctuation of a word. So again, there, punctuation, stabbing words really like very big, like you're going, focusing on articulation, pace, and volume. All of these things, you see the way I'm saying it, it's like bang. So working on voice modulation and trying to make them, like paint them and make them more colorful when you speak, really like game changing, because the way that you speak, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. That's what wins people over. And yet, and by the way, the feedback I get a lot before I say that is that the people actually say to me, I love listening to your shows, the way you talk, it just sounds really interesting. That's because this was stuff, most of these, I was taught when I was in performing arts. So it was stuff that we then transferred over as sales skills. So the next one you've got from there, I keep closing my notes, which is a pain. So let's go back to that one. Next one we have is listening skills. So being an active listener is really useful to make people notice you. So active listening is where you focus entirely on what the person in front of you is saying. Now, as a broker, being an active listener is probably going to be the best thing you need to do anyway, because you're going to get much better understanding of the client and understanding their situation. But active listening also will make the client feel like they're being listened to more. So this is where, when you practice doing this, try not to butt into a conversation. Sit down, talk to the client, ask them a question, and let them talk until the question comes to an end, until they reach the natural end point in their conversation. That is what you want to try. This is really hard to do, really hard. I do this in my podcast, The Mortgage Maverick Show. Difficult though. And anybody who watches my earlier episodes, this is not something I was taught. This is something I've had to learn becoming a podcaster. And this is difficult to do. And anyone who's listened to my earlier episodes, you will see that I do butt in more now. If in the more recent episodes, and definitely ones that are coming out that are scheduled, they are a lot less interrupting. And the ones that are really scheduled ahead, significantly better, because you do get better results if you allow the people to talk. Active listening is hard to do because, especially in sales, we just want to jump straight to the point and say, let me tell you about what I know. But you don't need to do that, and you shouldn't do that. What you should actually do is let the person, let the client, let the guest, whoever it is you're talking to, let them speak. Listen to what they have to say. And then really great trick with this is then repeat back what they said. So when you finish, so what I'm hearing is, or what you're saying is, and just repeat a summary, then move on to the next question. So if someone's saying, I'm looking for a first-time buyer, looking for a house near my parents because of schools, and I want to be able to take my kids to the same school I went to, and I want to be able to see my parents wherever possible, and I want it also to be affordable. Then stop and you can go, okay, so what I'm hearing is you're saying that your parents are important to you, you want to be close to them, and you want to make sure your children are close to your parents and that they can go to the same school as you. Is that correct? Yes, it is. It might sound like you're repeating it, but that's what it is. It's you're repeating back to them what they said. They will feel massively heard. That is a listening skill, is active listening. The other one that I want to add on this, and it's the final one to this point, is wardrobe audit. So audit your clothes and see what they say about you. Your wardrobe and the way you dress absolutely is what people will notice. I'm not saying here you have to wear a suit and tie. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm sat here in a white t-shirt and jeans. I don't wear suits and ties, but I've massively audited my wardrobe to have a certain style and presentable standard. And that's the type of thing you want to be looking at with yourself. What are you trying to get across? And are you trying to be that you are sporty? As a broker, you work with potentially more sporty people. You want to look like that. Then make that element evident, in the way you hold yourself and what you wear. Make your clothes, if you want to be more seen as more professional, more put together, more stylish, whatever you want to get across as your personality, your wardrobe and the way what you wear tells a lot about that. So it's really vital that you do this. The people who just rock up in whatever they want to wear because they like the way it looks, it's not enough. You've got to think about it like a uniform. This is why if you watch me, the vast majority, I have like different ranges of clothes, but the majority of my wardrobe is a white t-shirt. And in fact, moving forward at the moment, and I've always played around with different ones, but moving forward at the moment, I wear white t-shirt, and then pretty much I just bought a white jumper. My top half is white. That means that it's very recognizable. It's very clean. It's very crisp. My bottom half is always black, which is black jeans or black trousers or black joggers if I'm in the gym. Again, I look very presentable. And I'm not saying that you should dress like me and I wear the same thing every single day. You don't have to do that at all. But what I'm saying is having thought into what you wear and how you present yourself, both your hairstyle and if you're a man, your beard style, if you choose to have a beard, your jewelry, if you have tattoos, are they on show? Are they not on show? Having a consistent theme will make people notice you, because they'll start to see you as the person who always does X. You always wear this thing. Roz from Manuka Media. Love Roz, great woman, been on my show many times, we're good friends. She is always wearing yellow all the time. Her wardrobe is on point when it comes to this. I can always see her wearing crazy outlandish clothes. Not outlandish but it's very like big and very in your face in a good way, and it's always bright yellow. And I just assume if I saw someone walking down the street in yellow, I think of Roz. It's just the way that the branding works, and it's important. That's how people get noticed. So think about it with yourself. Are you doing those things? So those are 6 things to think about when it comes to trying to stand out when you want to be noticed as a broker. It's quite simple to do, but these are not skills that you are taught in your CMAPs or in your training as a broker, or in your, like when you go into firms, because we're not from these backgrounds. But because I have a performing arts background, this is the stuff that we were taught really early on. You are the product. How you hold yourself, how you present yourself, that is what you're selling. And coming into the financial services and property industry, I realized very quickly it's exactly the same as what you're selling. It's just that you lot don't realize that. So if you can tweak this and get this right, you will absolutely fly. I'll see you in the next episode.